On this edition of Emerils, Florida, we're visiting some great restaurants around Orlando. First up, we're going to check out the newest concept by Iron Chef Masahiro Morimoto, a beautiful restaurant named Morimoto Asia at Disney Springs. And my buddy fixed me up with some of his dumplings. I got it.
No,
Very hot, very hot.
hot, really hot?
Next, we're checking out the Coop, a new Southern comfort restaurant in Winter Park, founded by John Rivers, a former pharmaceutical executive turned restaurateur.
It's all about serving people, you know, and creating things and watch them eat it and get excited about it and have taste all the flavors. And that's so much more rewarding than anything else I could ever do.
Then we'll meet up with Chef Melissa Kelly at her concept Primo at the JW Marriott. And she's been a leader in the farm-to-table movement since she came to Orlando.
I've built a lot of relationships with local farmers, and we really pushed that hard in Orlando where it wasn't happening 13 years ago.
We'll finish up in the kitchen where I'm going to make a cold seafood salad. Yum! And that's all coming up on this edition of Emerils, Florida. Today we're checking out some great restaurants around Orlando. While it may be better known for its theme parks, the city has become a dining destination all its own. There are over 5,000 restaurants here. Our first stop is at Walt Disney World, and this one's got some star power. Here's a brand new restaurant at Disney Springs, and you may recognize our host as one of Iron Chef's great chefs. Morimoto Asia is the newest concept by famed chef Masahiro Morimoto. It's located in what used to be called downtown Disney. Now it's been redesigned and expanded, and its new name is Disney Springs. Morimoto Asia recently opened, and it's one of the chef's 10 restaurants around the world. While he's probably best known for his sushi expertise, Morimoto Asia is a new concept for him.
Of course, we have a sushi bar here, but main focus is more Asia.
Korea?
Yeah, mainly China, Korea, and then Philippines and Thailand.
We'll get to the food in a moment, but first I want to take you on a quick tour of the place. And folks, this is a beautiful restaurant. There are 2 floors and both have dining areas. Both floors have bars where you can also order food. There's some cool artwork that decorates the walls of the restaurant. And the big attraction is the glass-walled open kitchen.
People can see what we're doing. That's what I want.
Right.
Action.
Action, a little show,
Right.
etc.
Right.
Yeah, perfect.
That's a real show.
Real show. But when you're with Chef Morimoto, the show is also about the sushi. So he prepared some and also poured one of his craft beers brewed specifically for his restaurants. Wow.
Yep.
Delicious.
Thank you very much.
You have one tank I can take with me?
Please.
Okay.
And then I go travel with you.
The beer was great, but look at this plate of sushi. The chef gave me some sushi eating tips.
Should try the dipping fish side, whole thing one bite.
The whole thing.
Yes. Try this.
Ready? First on the plate, and then
Yes. That's it. Good. Nice.
I pass.
80%.
Okay. Although the sushi here is awesome, Morimoto Asia is really about what comes out of the hot kitchen. And the chef took me down to the dumpling station.
This is one of the busiest section here. So here's my sous chef Daniel.
Chef Daniel prepared fresh pork belly bao buns, pork dumplings, shrimp hagao, and steamed pork shumai for me to try.
You try one bite?
Yes? I got it.
No.
Very hot, very hot.
Hot? Very hot?
Uh-huh.
Can't speak. Maybe I can speak. Very good.
Our last stop was the open kitchen in the dining area. This is where they showcase their signature Peking duck dish. And the chef does it a little differently here. He wraps the crispy duck in a fresh pancake with hoisin sauce, apricot jam, and fresh cucumber. This is killer.
There you go, sir.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, so this is the best part of the whole program here.
Yes. So richer and then sweeter and also a little bit crunchier.
You've got a future in this. The Peking duck alone is worth the visit to Morimoto Asia. But you'll also dine in one of the most beautiful restaurants in Orlando. It's really something to see. I want to thank you.
Thank you very much.
And your staff.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Emeril here. Thank you.
Yeah. Morimoto Asia. I'll be back.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
And don't touch that remote, folks. We just went Asian, and now we're going southern at a place called the Coop for some down-home comfort food. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Emeril's Florida is sponsored by Visit Orlando. Step into your never-ending story. Emeril's Florida is sponsored by Visit Florida. Find the warmer side of winter at visitflorida.com.
You know, here's an interesting story of a guy who retired from the healthcare business and all of a sudden decided to get in this crazy restaurant business. Wait till you see what he's doing. Let's check it out. The Coop is a fast casual restaurant serving home-style Southern classics in the Winter Park section of Orlando. John Rivers is the founder of the Coop and also Four Rivers Smokehouse. Prior to becoming a restaurateur, John was the president of a pharmaceutical company. But his hobby and his passion was making barbecue.
You know, when you're doing something that you're passionate about, you become a different person.
Absolutely.
And my Monday through Friday, I had a great job with great companies. But on the weekends, when I would cook, I'd come alive. And it was a mistaken phone call that came in on about 2004, and it was a little girl. We found out she had cancer, and the caller thought it was my daughter. And it wasn't my daughter, thank God. But that call moved me so much that I told my wife, we're going to find out who this little girl is, and we're going to help her.
He took his weekend hobby and turned it into a barbecue ministry to raise money for the little girl. The success of that fundraiser motivated him to hold other barbecue charity events.
I took something I was passionate about, and I used it to help other people. And that, I believe, so much is the formula to a successful business.
In 2009, John left the pharmaceutical business and opened his first Four Rivers Smokehouse in Central Florida. Since then, it's become a successful business throughout the state, with 11 locations and more on the way outside the state.
It's all about serving people, and creating things and you watch them eat it and get excited about it. That's so much more rewarding than anything else I could ever do.
Four Rivers serves lots of different kinds of barbecue, but their most popular menu item is their signature Angus brisket. I gotta go for the money.
18 hours in the smoker. We'll do almost 2 million pounds of brisket this year throughout all of our stores.
That's crazy good. The Coop is John's newest concept. And like Four Rivers, the Coop features a quick service counter where guests order their food along a hot line and can eat in the dining room or take it to go.
This is nice for people to see it, and anything that they want to try, anything they want to taste, all they do is ask.
I did my part to help out and served a few of his customers. Sure you don't want a third side? Come on. The Coop serves all types of Southern food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And John comes up with most of the dishes.
There's nothing fancy on the menu, but everything is made from scratch, fresh. In all my restaurants, I absolutely insist on that. If you're going to do it, it really has to be exceptional.
At the Coop, you're going to get comfort food and family-style food. They have a number of signature dishes, and here's one of them. It's their Low Country Shrimp and Grits. Super good.
Well, thank you.
When shrimp and grits are done right, it's heaven.
Yes. It's not that complicated. Why mess up a good thing? Keep it simple.
Here's their smothered pork chop with onion gravy and a side of okra.
Now, this one I grew up on. This is literally my grandma's favorite dish. Again, nothing overly fancy. Keep it nice and moist and give it a nice flavor, and serve it over some mashed potatoes.
This is unbelievable. Real food.
Mm-hmm. Simple, good food done right.
Next up was another signature dish, chicken and waffles.
I'm amazed how many people come in who never had chicken and waffles before. Yeah, I know. How can you
Shame
grow
on
up
them.
like that?
They don't know what's
Right.
going on in life.
I love this dish because I'm all about layering of flavors, and I love the savory and the sweet that come together on it. And then we make the syrup here, and I put a little bit of bourbon and then reduce that down with some brown sugar, and then mix that with some maple. And that goes on all of our breakfast
The
items.
waffles are terrific.
Oh, good.
Okay, so now that we've had a snack, we're gonna go to breakfast because, I mean, life's too short to
That's
have
right.
lunch and not have breakfast.
And why not end the day on breakfast, right?
That's right.
Breakfast for dinner.
So breakfast it was. And we ended up with John's caramelized croissant French toast with fresh berries and topped with their bourbon maple syrup.
Wow. I'm in heaven.
I'm sorry we ran out of food today.
Yeah. John, pleasure. Thanks for your hospitality.
Very well.
Awesome. All right, my friend.
Stay with us. Next up, we're going Italian, and you'll meet award-winning chef Melissa Kelly at Primo, her restaurant at the JW Marriott Grand Lakes, Orlando. We'll be right back.
Emeril's Florida is sponsored by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. Our mission is to protect, educate, and promote Florida's hospitality industry.
Our next stop takes us to the JW Marriott Orlando Grand Lakes. It's a luxury hotel located near attractions like Universal and Disney. We're visiting their signature Italian Mediterranean restaurant, Primo.
Hey, Chef, how are you?
Hey, Emeril, welcome
Good
to
to see you.
Primo.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
Melissa Kelly is the owner and executive chef at Primo. She's a James Beard award-winning chef from New York. She created the original Primo restaurant, named for her grandfather, in Rockland, Maine in 2000. In 2003, she opened up her second location here at the JW Marriott.
How did this culinary journey start for you?
Well, I grew up in an Italian-American family on Long
I
Island.
wouldn't have guessed that.
In New York, and my grandfather, who was Primo Magnani, was a butcher, and my grandmother was a great cook. We had a garden, and so I always loved food. And then when I was in college studying business, I decided to work in a restaurant, and then I just never
hooked.
looked back.
Got hooked.
I got hooked.
The food at Primo was simple, seasonal, and fresh. Melissa's a big advocate of the farm-to-table movement and was one of the leaders for that here in Orlando.
I built a lot of relationships with local farmers, and we really pushed that hard in Orlando where it wasn't happening 13 years ago.
When she came to the JW Marriott, she wanted to have a garden and a farm on the property to use for the restaurant, just like she does in Maine. So that was part of the deal.
We have a couple guys who run the garden for us, and they give us a harvest list, and then what we want to grow next, what the weather's doing, what's
Right.
going to be more seasonal, because even in Orlando, we do have a season here.
Exactly.
Melissa's all about the ingredients. And here are a few of her signature dishes she prepared for us. This is the charcuterie plate at Primo. All of the pork comes from pigs that Melissa raises, and the baguettes are made in-house. This was pretty awesome. Here's a local goat cheese and a fresh ricotta tot with beets, radishes, and a little pistachio granola and almond vinaigrette.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, we grow the greens and the radishes and the beets. So it's nice and fresh.
Tastes like it's right out of the garden.
Next was a dish that Melissa used to cook for her grandfather, Primo. Pork saltimbocca with spinach, prosciutto, garlic mashed potatoes, and Madeira jus with shiitake mushrooms and sage.
It's a dish that I think is comfort food. I always eat it when I feel bad. It makes me happy. But a lot of guests go to it because it's like a warm hug.
Awesome. I love all the little textures too. The mushrooms and really good.
Thank you.
That smells incredible, Chef. What do you have there?
Okay, so these are the first of the Maine Diver Sea Scallop season. This is an instance where I bring Maine to Orlando because they're very special. And
I'll say.
We make a homemade pasta. This is spaghetti with a mushroom broth with some wild mushrooms. We have chanterelles and oyster mushrooms and a little bit of spinach, Parmesan. So this is one of my favorite combinations.
Great flavors. I love the broth, the simplicity of it.
Thank you.
We finished with a couple of desserts. First was a classic Italian treat, a cannoli made with an almond tuile shell and whipped ricotta, served with pistachio gelato and wild amarena cherries from Italy.
I love how you whip the cheese.
The texture, yeah. Just a little bit of sugar and cinnamon inside.
And the cherries are nice. Look at this. And this here?
So here we have a sweet potato cheesecake, a brown butter sponge cake, and a butter pecan gelato. So it's kind of a deconstructed cheesecake. On the outside is a little creme fraiche and sage. Give it a little savory element.
Not only clever, but really yummy.
Oh, thank you.
It's great being here. And refreshing to see what's going on in the food scene in Orlando.
It was our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you again.
Here's to you.
Stay with us. Next, we're heading to the kitchen, and I've got a killer cold seafood salad that I'm gonna make for you. We'll be right back.
Emeril's Florida cooking segments are sponsored by Fresh from Florida. For delicious recipes, visit freshfromflorida.com.
We've just met some amazing, talented chefs today in Orlando. So I wanted to do a dish that's a little bit more, well, Chef Morimoto, a little bit of classic Mediterranean style like my friend Chef Melissa Kelly would do at Primo. Well, it's my cold seafood salad with scallops and shrimp and squid, or whatever fresh Florida seafood you can get. This is killer. Let's get started. Okay. I got some beautiful seafood here. I've got shrimp, and I've got squid, and I got scallops. Now, I have what's called a court bouillon. Got some lemon in here, peppercorn, some celery, some parsley. Now we're gonna add a little bit of salt to that as well. I have bay leaves in there as well. That's where all the seafood is gonna get poached, just until it's lightly cooked. Take it out and chill it down really, really fast. This is my seafood that's been poached in the court bouillon. And so I have parsley, I have lime juice, sesame oil, crushed red pepper, celery, garlic, and a little bit of mint. We're gonna start with the scallops. These were pretty big. So we wanna cut these into chunks. You can see how they're not quite cooked all the way through, and that's exactly what we wanna do. What we've done with the shrimp is also cut them in nice bite-sized pieces. Same thing with the squid. So we have the scallops, we have the shrimp, just a little bit undercooked in the center. Same thing with the squid, the calamari. Now what we're gonna do is we're really just gonna work the magic now into that seafood. So in goes the mint, in goes the parsley, the celery leaves, oh yes, garlic, and then how hot do you want it? Well, that would be sort of mild, that would be medium. The lime juice, which is really gonna be that freshness. Vinegar, you could use sherry vinegar, red wine vinegar, and then last but not least, good extra virgin olive oil. Oh yeah. And now what we're gonna do, look at this. The lime juice is really almost like a ceviche, is gonna finish cooking the rest of the seafood, which is why you wanna undercook it. And now put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. It comes out, see how beautifully cooked that is? Look at that. Now the way that I like to serve it, very simple. I take a little bit of endive, and I just take in a cold plate. So I just kind of make like a little flour. Then I take the seafood salad right in the center so that you can just scoop a little bit of that salad out with one of the endive. And my friends, there you have my beautiful, delicious, cold seafood salad. I'll see you next time on Emeril, Florida.